This is Rizwan Saib, and I have with me Pasi Matila and Dr. Bhupati from Finpeda. They are from Finland and they are here in India to explore the field of education. They are addressing the problems and solutions for the heads and managements of schools. And this is an event organized by Learn2Teach. We are at Presidency Club, and these two gentlemen are now going to let us know what they feel about the education systems in India after their interactions that they have had, and what kind of a change or what kind of an innovation they bring to India. So Pasi, can you tell us something more about yourself and how are you creating innovation in education?
Okay, Finns are coming and Finns are finally here. So my name is Pasi Mattila. I'm the author of the book How to Create the School of the Future, Revolutionary Thinking and Design from Finland. 2006 we joined to be part of Microsoft's School of the Future program, and at that time we started to look for innovations in education. And we went around the world, we discussed with headmasters, region head teachers, students, we saw different examples, and we had one school in city of Oulu, northern part of Finland, where we come from. We had under construction, so we were able to put all the key innovation into that school, what we call School of the Future. And luckily our city is growing area, so since that we have had many school building projects coming. So what we do innovations, education, pedagogy, architecture and technology. In Finland, with biggest construction companies, we participate school building projects. So we plan schools, and our role is to be pedagogical planner. So we make the operation culture and working culture for schools. And as you understand, if you don't do traditional school, where are corridors and classrooms, if you do open concept school, it will change the working culture for teachers. So this is why we have pedagogy factory concept, and we train teachers from old school culture into the new 21st century learning culture. So we have training part, then this architectural part, and we also do technology on our own. We have 3D browser-based multi-user learning and training environment. So when you open your mobile phone, tablet or computer, you can connect through browser to virtual world. And I see a lot of possibilities in this virtual learning, that students from India and Finland, they could communicate, they could do projects together in this kind of space, and technology is enable or connect students globally. So we are here looking for opportunities together with Indian schools and kindergarten, and together find ways how they can develop themselves, their actions and their environments.
So Dr. Bhupati, can you also help us understand what's your role in this project and what specialties do you bring on the table?
Okay. Well, I'm Dr. Bhupati. I'm basically from Tamil Nadu. So then I moved to Finland 2006. I studied and I was doing PhD and I was working there. So my PhD was in a topic on cultural intelligence. It's about Finnish business leaders and their experiences in India. So I kind of have here and there, which means that I have studied in India, worked in India. The same I have did in Finland. Also I was a teacher, I was a lecturer at the university. I also did vocational adult pedagogy. So I kind of understand both the cultures. Of course, I don't say I know everything, but I'm able to put things into perspective. So my specialty is that I am able to bring contextualize. As you look at Finland and India, there's two different worlds. So two different worlds in the sense that it's always the culture that comes to the front. If you want to link these two cultures, you need to understand in depth both the cultures, what works here. You cannot completely bring everything from Finland and put in India. It doesn't work that way, because the culture, attitude, values, everything is very dissimilar. So in that sense, my specialty is to put things easier for Finpeda in India to make it culturally appropriate products and services that actually can create a lot of impact in India, particularly when it comes to education. As I have studied in both the countries, I understand the attitude of learners, about the teachers, and understanding about the education system. What is the focus in India? What is the focus in Finland? So that is my best part, that I'm able to connect both the cultures.
And that's great. But when you talk about cultures, education is a very delicate ecosystem. It has an environment where you impart the knowledge and training and learning processes. It has a very volatile component, which is the student or the learners, as we call them. Then you have the management of that entire system, and at the back of it, you have the parents or the families of these learners. When you talk about school, and schooling is a really very interactive environment. It requires a lot of corrections, a lot of handling, and a lot of understanding of all these entities. So how is the understanding, and what are the special changes that you at Finpeda have researched, innovated, and you bring to India?
I think if you look at the learning cultures in both the countries, Finnish learning culture or Finnish education system is more focused on student-centered. But the student has a bigger role in learning throughout the learning. So teacher is more as a facilitator. Whereas Indian system, it is more teacher-centric.
Okay.
So this is the key difference.
Okay.
So the teacher role is much bigger in India, which means it's always mostly the teachers are saying the kids, it's like one way mostly. So in Finnish system, it is like you are trying to get together everybody, and the focus is to more and more help students to learn in their own way, because each kid has its own way of learning.
Right.
You cannot have one solution for everybody. It's simply not possible. So then there's also in the Indian system, it's mostly based on the metrics. So what is your grade? How much scores you have? That is the focus mostly. Of course, there are also exceptions remain. It's a general. Whereas in Finnish system, it is more about learning what you have learned.
If I may continue, that the Indian school system is still more traditional. It is based on subject, and students, they have lessons, 45 minutes lesson, 35 minutes teacher may talk, and then there's small reflection time. So, and this is where when you measure subjects and how good students are at that, and then give a lot of tests. And while Finnish system is totally different, and we are going to opposite direction, and we have phenomenon, so we have broader learning areas and new methods. So we want to not to remove subject, but have those subjects and Indian curriculum, and then in addition to bring added value by bringing projects and phenomenons and new methods into system. So I think together we can achieve even more. And one important element is parents. Parents are key enablers for this change. So if parents understand that we are teaching them future competencies and 21st century skills, what their children need for their future work and future life. So then this change is possible to happen.
So when you talk about a new culture or innovation for the Indian systems, I think we are also on the thresholds of globalization in India, and on a very strong way. So with these things happening around, talent and innovations are two sides of the same coin, and they need to be harnessed, cultured and developed. So how do you help us in that? If you could cite some examples of how you are able to spot talent or make a difference to the way a child is getting educated in the kindergarten as well as towards the high school.
Well, kindergarten is the base for all education, or in early age you create foundation for further studies. And this is why while we in Finland, our children, they go to preschool at the age of 6, and then they go to school at the age of 7. And before that they go to kindergarten. My children went kindergarten when they were 1 year old. So they first stay kindergarten, and in kindergarten they have preschool as well. So they have their teaching sessions, they have their learning sessions, but mostly they play there. They enjoy the time with their friends and also learn together. And I think that this is important, that they have their zone of proximal development or certain times when they can learn certain things. And they should be ready to learn new things. And this is what we do well in Finnish system. And somehow Finnish system is that less is more. So we have shorter school days and we have almost no homework. But still we score very high marks in PISA results. So we in our system we take broader subjects or broader areas, and then we include subjects into those areas, and teaching or learning is more connected to authentic neighborhood and authentic subjects. And I think that this is important, not just to learn by heart and memorize things and be able to write the test, but learn for life and future life.
Well, we'll just take a break for a minute over here. Going forward with our discussions, what do you think is a good part or a thing from the Indian education system that can go to the globe? Something from here which you have learned, understood, and probably you could localize it and make it as a part of your cultural exchange program for the educational world.
I think from my point of view, there are several things that you can take it from India to abroad. So the key thing would be the drive, the competition. But competition, as what we know as competition in school system, it's good or bad is another discussion. We don't have to do. So what the system makes you, it gives you drive. This drive, this motivational mindset, wherever you go, it comes along with you. So then you are able to, wherever you go, you are able to apply and to remain relevant and to get things done. This hard work teaches you. At the same time, Indian education system also has something that is unique, which is Indian values. You, no matter what, in which society or which class you belong to in India, but that is, we all have this Indian base values, whichever state you are from. These values makes you also to be responsible to a certain extent. It is also that takes you, and whenever you are abroad, you always think in that way. You know, that connection that you have with India, and this drive, this value, makes it a very, very interesting thing, because you are always you are coming up with new ideas. One of the best part having from India is that as we grow in circumstances which is also difficult, people, the students, some of them go through different hardships. So that also teach them to be confident, and that makes them also to be innovative. They are also able to come up with solutions that can make you adaptable. Indian students, wherever you go, Indian executive, they are very successful. They are easily adapting to the situation. They are comfortable. They don't tend to be political. They tend to make it like they are adapting to the local condition and try to build a network. I think probably Indian community is one of the highly successful immigrants all over the world. If you look at any country, Indians are in good position, good executive. So that's again part of the system. The system gives you that base. So that base provides you really competences to work, study, and to be an entrepreneur, to be a scientist, to be a doctor, to be successful in any country in the world. So this is what I think as a key takeaway that anybody should take it from India.
I would add beauty of the country, of course, and open-mindedness of people. And as you said, that when individual student, there's a lot of comparison, of course, nowadays in the school, but when individual students start to do something, they learn, they work really hard to achieve their best. So this motivation we would like to take with us, and on the other hand bring more collaboration and group work. What we have seen, for example, among school owners and headmasters, that when they have something on their mind, when they want to develop something and they have passion to do it, to do some experimental issues, they do their best, that they follow their mind and make it happen. And in India here it happens so much faster than in Finland. In Finland usually school building, it takes like 2 to 3 years to plan and then 2 to 3 years to build. Here I would say the time is at least half shorter of that. So as you said, that this drive and this passion, it's one thing definitely we want to take.
So you've been interacting with school heads and school managements for the past few days, and there definitely has been an exchange. So can you give me some insights as to what this exchange is, what are your thoughts, and how relevant the change that you bring is a business factor for them, or it is a factor of excellence for the students and the parents?
It's definitely this competition advantage to do it together and do it globally. We here in this conference and workshop, what we have done, we have had leadership training. We have taught 21st century skills. Now we are thinking pedagogical leadership, so how teachers they develop. Just recently we discussed about recruitment and competencies, how to find the right kind of staff. Next we will move to new methods of teaching and working, and we do not just give information, we put participants to work and design their own skills. How we usually work with schools and school network, we have our own school development tool. So we go to school, we spend time there, we evaluate the current situation, then together we define the future situation, and only then we have it is possible to make a plan how to develop your learning or your school.
Yeah, so when you're implementing these concepts, is it essential that the school management also travels back to Finland, or you have your team coming over here and giving them all that they need?
It happens both the way.
Okay.
It's about how in-depth you want to be involved in the process. So we have people who have traveled to Finland. First they had hands-on experience, like for example our friend partner Learn2Teach, they have traveled to Finland and they understood the system. Only after that they thought of doing this. So that gives them kind of sense that okay, there is something that we should take it back to India. It happened. So one of the best thing what's happening in India, I'm very optimistic because the change is happening. You may not see it all over India at the same time, but somewhere along some way throughout India, there is more and more this, people are looking for new things to be incorporated in their schools. The school owners are very motivated. We have met some of the people who are really motivated. In spite, it's also risk for them. They cannot do everything change. But what they are trying, at least to start, they are taking a step forward to start from little. So this, what is going to do is that this is also going to create a kind of competition among other schools who are also going to look into that. If some schools are going to change, they're going to implement the best practices from abroad, Finland or elsewhere, and it also put other schools into a situation we have to do something in order to remain competitive in the market. At the same time, what it does to the society, the good practices are spread. Then more and more people are learning, new ways of learning is taking place, which is excellent. So combining the traditional Indian values of learning with the foreign best practices from Finland or any other country is going to create a model that's going to be very unique, which is again going to be a big beneficial factor for the learners and for the schools, for the whole educational ecosystem. that is also going to take Indian education system to the next level. So I see that as a very positive thing, whatever is happening. And of course, the most important thing is that we need the support from all stakeholders. It's not only the school management and principals they have to change. It's also the society should accept for the change. Usually change is something that doesn't happen all of a sudden, and it's the only constant thing in the world, as you know, and it takes time. So it's good that parents, students, everybody, students are very motivated. They want more and more new things. So in that way, I see that there is a lot of good things are happening in India, and we are happy that from Finland, Finpeda is also taking part in this, in this success movement happening in India.
My first time in India was in TICE conference 2 years ago, and it was a leadership conference for all the international schools in India, and at that time I asked to visit best Indian schools in Mumbai, and I visited and I saw that those were really kind of basic level schools in Finland.
Thank you, gentlemen. It was great speaking to you.
Thank you.
And I really hope that Finland and India can work together on this new educational path that Finpeda and Learn2Teach is bringing to India.
Thanks a lot, and we thank our partner Learn2Teach for organizing this fantastic seminar.
And this discussion forum also for schools to share their
So it has been an amazing experience for the past 3 days, and we are taking back a lot of good memories from Pune and from Learn2Teach. So we wish them all the best, and looking forward to do more new things.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.